On February 12th, the most epic combat rivalry in Oceania enters its second chapter.
While the biggest fight in Australian/New Zealand mixed martial arts history awaits us.
You want to talk about the magnitude of this fight? Biggest weigh-in we've ever had by far.
When the stars all align, I will turn these hands of time.
New Zealand's greatest fighter of all time is reigning UFC middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya.
He has taken this sport by storm. He moves every needle, celebrity and otherwise, that you would want him to move.
Israel Adesanya has that thing that draws people to them, that makes friends all gather to watch you perform. He's a great fighter, and he always brings it.
Who in 2019 entered enemy territory to seize the belt from an Australian icon.
Whitaker nearly out on his feet. Adesanya trying to close it out. Israel Adesanya is the undisputed king of the middleweights.
That was a beautiful knockout. Give him the Bobby Knuckles.
Man, just a fantastic performance by Adesanya.
But the story's not over.
The heartbreaking performance in front of nearly 60,000 fans on home soil is former champ Robert Whitaker's only loss in the past 7 years.
Didn't get the W today, but I'm not going anywhere.
Chapter 1 goes to Israel Adesanya, and perhaps these two gentlemen are destined to fight again.
And the once undisputed king is ready to reclaim his throne.
Embrace the darkness.
He dropped him.
Build on that first fight.
Rejuvenated, revitalized.
I came back much better.
Cannoneer in a world of trouble, he retreats. Whitaker gonna finish this fight.
And I'm excited to get back at him.
You see the fire that burns, the longing that he has to become the champion of the world once again.
It's the fight. It has to happen.
I found a match and I'm ready to light up.
And here we are again, the most important rematch.
Whitaker with a head kick. Whitaker poured it on now. And that's it. Robert Whitaker has done it.
Bobby Knuckles, my arch nemesis.
That is it. Quick night at the office for the champion, Israel Adesanya.
Whitaker, I'm the king, bitch.
Before the world's best middleweights close the show, it's a heavyweight clash in the co-main event.
Two big alpha males in that octagon.
As Australian rising star Tai Tuivasa
He fights with so much reckless abandon and so much passion for combat.
carries the momentum of 4 straight knockouts.
The clean KO. Tai Tuivasa. Get him a shoe, get him a beer.
Into a high-stakes bout with the KO King, the former 2-time title challenger,
Lewis does it again!
the owner of the most knockouts in UFC history,
Oh, and Lewis puts him out!
the Black Beast, Derek Lewis.
Do you believe it? He is alone at the top of the mountain.
It all goes down in H-Town when the worldwide leader returns with another can't-miss pay-per-view event.
Soldier, I'm ready to fight.
But first, get ready
The legs, that's it.
for UFC 271
But I reckon you can get past me.
Countdown.
Ready to rise.
New South Wales is home to 2 fighters who have seized UFC gold. Reigning featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski
Oh, huge ground strikes from Volkanovski. Unbelievable. This could be the end.
Everyone back home in Australia, I did this for you.
and former middleweight king Robert Whitaker.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the former UFC middleweight champion will be with you guys very shortly.
But it was the latter who first led the charge for Australia.
Hey boss, how you doing? Good?
And the Reaper is beloved by his people.
We're down here for a little meet and greet, launching some new exclusive shirts. All right, pull it pretty tight.
I love it, honestly. He's probably one of the best Australian athletes.
Thank you for your support, brother.
Everything Australia is, he's a fighter, like, he's never out of a fight.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming down. To be able to get down here and see my fans and feed off that energy a little bit, it's mind-blowing to see that I've created this sort of atmosphere and culture.
Whitaker's trailblazing began when he won the Ultimate Fighter for Team Australia.
He is the last hope for Team Australia. Robert Whitaker. Oh, and that goes Bradley Scott. He's in trouble.
And he's been giving back ever since.
And the crowd going nuts for Whitaker, as they have done all week long.
The contract's a bonus, but the real joy was just defending my country and making everyone proud.
From appearances.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I didn't even sleep last night because I was so excited to see you.
Thank you so much.
To training facilities that welcome all comers.
Get this side, Dusty. Go.
A lot of love and care has gone into the construction of this gym. Everyone got involved to get this up to what it is today, a 5-star gym. I'm glad we can give that to our current members, and I'm glad we can offer that to new ones. It's not my right to train in a facility like this, surrounded by good people like you. It is my privilege to train in a facility like this and to train with people like you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'll try to live up to that. And I hope we all try to live up to that. We're spreading our morals and values around. As a martial artist, that's kind of what you want to achieve.
And a lot of people think if an Australian is going to break through and win a UFC title, it could very well be this man, Robert Whitaker.
Oh, he goes down with a knee.
He's coming through with some heavy shots. That is it. Robert Whitaker. Oh, 2 early knockdowns for Whitaker. Oh, Tomorrow's is gone. Robert Whitaker.
The support from down under fueled Whitaker's legendary drive.
Robert Whitaker with a head kick.
Uppercuts from Whitaker.
Down goes Brunson. Robert Whitaker.
You're looking at a guy who is on the rise. He's making his run towards greatness.
Oh, massive head kick for Whitaker. Oh, Souza's in trouble here, and that is it. Wow. The storm breaks out tonight.
As he poured his heart and soul into every battle.
Tonight, at just 26 years old, he'll try to complete the mission and become a UFC champion.
Oh, he caught him with that left.
Man, beautiful left hand.
Oh, he rocked him.
Oh, big left for Romero. Oh.
Beautiful knee. This really is who wants it most. These guys are beat down.
Robert!
12 pounds of interim UFC gold.
Oh, head kick from Whitaker. Oh! Massive right for Romero. Oh! Head kick for Whitaker now.
Both of these fighters refusing to go down.
Would become the undisputed middleweight title.
Australia has a UFC champion. His name is Robert Whitaker.
Which would remain with Whitaker at home in Australia. Until his greatest rival emerged from across the ditch. A kickboxer turned undefeated MMA phenom by the name of Israel Adesanya.
So here is Israel Adesanya, 28 years old. He arrives at the UFC debut here tonight.
The last style bender, he believes he can do anything.
Who exemplified the combat spirit of his nation.
It's pretty rare you see a guy make his UFC debut with this kind of hype. Right. A lot of eyes on him.
Fighting is part of New Zealand's culture.
Sometimes that pressure can be a detriment. I don't think so with this guy.
Growing up with my friends out here, it's always just been a part of the culture, that bravado, 1 ounce type thing. You know, there's ways to hone that and use it for the greater good, which is this, I feel. And for me, it's about the feeling. That's what I care about, the feeling I give people when I fight.
This is a fantastic young fighter with confidence to match.
Israel Adesanya.
He is one of the highest level kickboxers you're ever gonna see.
He has been the boss, he has been the bully, he has led the dance.
He almost fights like he's in a karate movie sometimes.
People talk about the never-ending debate between Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
And the last style bender's starting to go to work.
Those who were around when Jordan was playing, they're like, yeah, this is nice, but you don't remember the feeling of watching him do what he did.
Oh, he tagged him again.
Oh, big left and a right. Now the uppercut in the knee. Brunson is down.
So I want to give people a certain feeling when I fight.
Wow.
Whether they love me or hate me.
That's the last style bender, folks.
Because I come in there showing off, dancing.
That kid's the truth. And Adesanya touched over with the right hand.
I mean, he's just so effortless and fluid.
I want them to remember that feeling.
Oh! That's the thing about his arsenal. It's so deep. He can do so many things. His striking IQ is off the charts.
The last style bender polarized the masses.
Oh, my goodness.
Huge right. Knockout for Adesanya now.
En route to claiming the UFC interim middleweight title.
Well, it is the biggest fight in the history of Australia and New Zealand. The undisputed middleweight championship is at stake. It'll be Adesanya and Whitaker later in 2019.
championship fight that immediately followed.
56,000 plus will pack the house Sunday at UFC 243.
Would evoke anticipation.
Thank you, mate.
From both Aussies.
Thank you.
Kick ass.
In this atmosphere, in this arena, with these numbers, I can see it being the biggest fight ever.
And Kiwis alike.
Robert, he does not want to let everyone down. Looking good, man. He's in his home country. He doesn't want to let everyone down.
I had a better idea. I had a bigger incentive.
I'll find the shot and I'll put him away.
Learn to embrace the talents I'm blessed with.
And the UFC middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya.
We're gonna blow that place up. Y'all ready? 185 for the champion. I know the secret to making a dream come true. No apology. Stand tall like a prodigy. Sincere honesty. Channel my vision, aim for the moon and reach for the prophecy.
We have seen him develop exponentially from one fight to the next. He is 17-0, and he is a sponge for MMA knowledge. We'll see how much he is soaked up in advance of this unification bout as Israel Adesanya takes on Robert Whitaker.
You know, guys that have fought at the top of the sport love Robert Whitaker. He is a fighter's champion. Every time he goes in there, he lays it on the line. This guy is a great champion and one of the best fighters that I've ever seen in the octagon. Whitaker has to make this fight a little bit dirty. If it's just a straight kickboxing match, there aren't many people in the world that can beat Israel at that.
Beautiful jab from the last style bender. How about the dexterity, the head movement for Israel Adesanya? Beautiful to watch.
That night was just perfect.
It is amazing how beloved Robert Whitaker is in this nation as he tries to find his way into striking range.
Going into enemy territory, staking my claim.
He's got Rob chasing him. Oh! Big knockdown! Big shot by Izzy right before the bell.
Owning the moment, just expressing beautiful, violent art.
Oh, hurt him again with that hook.
Oh, beautiful body work now from Adesanya.
He's starting to feel himself now. He's starting to get into his flow. Then it's not good for Robert Whitaker. Oh!
Everyone that was supporting me could walk out of there with their head held high. Like, yeah, our guy won.
Less than 2 years into his UFC career, Israel Adesanya is what he knew and thought he was, the best middleweight on planet Earth.
That feeling's gonna sit with them forever.
And perhaps these two gentlemen are destined to fight again. But chapter 1 goes to the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. Live inside Marvel Stadium here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. This is UFC 243, Whitaker versus Adesanya. Seems to be a feeling here that these guys might fight more than once, but Act 1 between Robert Whitaker and Israel Adesanya is finally upon us.
UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya's win over Robert Whitaker in 2019. Solidified his place atop the sport.
I'm Hollywood now. I'm Hollywood.
And while the last stylebender enjoyed newfound superstardom, he would seek the challengers most likely to take it all away.
This guy right here is the guy that no one ever calls out. I want to test myself against everyone of this era who's a beast.
That is an aggressive, powerful man.
Scariest dude on this UFC roster.
I just pick and choose pretty much. I've always kind of done that low-key. And I don't pick easy fights. I pick the toughest guy in the division at the time, and I go after them.
After dominating Yoel Romero,
I did what I had to do in a fight. I touched him up, and still.
Brazil's got a middleweight contender, Paulo Costa.
Leave me la vida Costa. I'll see you soon, boy.
And Paulo Costa.
This is not looking good for Paulo Costa. He's getting picked apart here.
Oh! Knockdown for Adesanya. Wow. That is it.
Adesanya had cleared out the middleweight landscape.
He has left Anderson Silva, Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whitaker, Yoel Romero, and now Paulo Costa in his wake.
So extending an undefeated streak at 185 pounds meant facing the division's elite for a second time.
Fastest man in the world, baby.
Is the warm-up? This is it. It's not hard to get motivated for me.
Israel Adesanya, man. What's there to say? The guy is legit as you can get.
I love what I do.
He's one of the best that steps foot in the octagon, and he always wants to take on the biggest challenges.
I love this game. I love where I'm at in my career. But to lap the division,
he is putting himself in some pretty elite company with what he is doing.
I find that exciting.
So here he is, folks. Israel Adesanya. He is still undefeated as a middleweight, and he intends to keep it that way tonight in what is the first rematch of his career. On the other side, it's Marvin Vettori, the latter, trying to become the first Italian UFC champion.
Live fast, live loud.
I have a healthy ego.
The last style bender, in search of a third successful middleweight title defense.
I like to use it to my advantage like a fire. Use it to make life.
What we're seeing here is that Izzy evolved considerably since their first fight. And he's also so much more comfortable. I mean, he's the champ now. Oh, that one hurt him. That one hurt him.
Make the move, turn the volume up. Give him tune, P's and Q's if you're down with us. Shake the room, let the sound erupt. Make it boom till they feel it in the atmosphere.
But then if I fan it the wrong way, it could burn my whole down, so.
All the stuff that Izzy's been doing is starting to pile on, and Marvin is fatiguing.
That can go two ways, but right now, the way it's going, it's in my favor.
This fight was all Israel Adesanya.
It shows true dominance.
Israel Adesanya once again dominated Marvin Vettori.
Who wants to get this next ass kicking? Because he's cleared out his division.
He lapped the division at the top and then did it again.
And the path to UFC middleweight golden glory still goes through Auckland, New Zealand.
That motivates me, so if my next 3 fights are rematches, it doesn't bother me.
We have seen him develop exponentially from one fight to the next. Now, his mixed martial arts moment. He has taken this sport by storm. He moves every needle, celebrity and otherwise, that you would want him to move. He figures to be facing his stiffest challenge to date.
Adesanya's next fight will indeed be another rematch with the man he took the belt from 2 years ago. And the thrill of his victory was matched by the agony of Robert Whittaker's defeat.
The overwhelming memory that I have for that first Adesanya fight is just that I wanted to rip his head off.
The best middleweight in the world, looking to pick up precisely where he left off tonight.
It was very emotional.
Adesanya has forced some misses out of Whittaker here early on.
The pressure, the hype, the build-up, the fans, the place.
Throwing big old looping punches, not being as straight as he normally is.
It all kind of got to me.
He's got to be very careful.
Oh!
No! No! Usman, no! Help me! Help me! Ah! Oh, no. Oh, no! I took a step away from the game, not really with the intention of coming back. I was kind of just freeing myself from all that. Help me, Jack! And family was kind of how I knew that I still wanted to be in there. I still wanted to fight. This is how I wanted to make my living still. Where? Oh. They're my driving force behind stuff. They put things in perspective and make you want to achieve something not for yourself, but for them.
Before he faced Adesanya, Whittaker had never lost a fight at 185 pounds. And self-reflection following the unfamiliar experience also highlighted Whittaker's need to constantly evolve.
Position, position, position. That loss easy was good in a way because I was having such success with my striking and I was winning fights via striking that I didn't need to fix it. Nice one. So I made a lot of changes with my training and the way I do things. Implemented more complete skill sets of what I already had. Mixing in wrestling, mixing in my striking with a better defensive game. And you could just see a massive improvement.
Oh! He dropped it.
Here he is, rejuvenated, revitalised, and on a quest to get his title back. Whittaker really did relight that fire.
This one's for him to get back in there, to hunt that title again.
Following his first defeat in a half-decade, Whittaker came roaring back.
Robert Whittaker has dominated.
Ooh, Cannonier in a world of trouble. He retreats.
Showing any oncoming contenders that he remains a cut above the rest.
I thought Cannonier was going to be a much tougher challenge for him. He looked good tonight.
He looks sensational. And I wonder what the champ is thinking right now.
I'm at a loss for words for Whittaker's performance. What a masterclass.
We're going to see a rematch of Whittaker versus Adesanya.
Any type of confusion in the middleweight division, it's done. This is the man that gets the next title shot.
Nobody's jumping over Whittaker. He's next.
Live from the Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia.
The rematch between middleweight king Israel Adesanya and former champion Robert Whittaker is official. And while the most highly anticipated fight in Oceania's history will take place in Houston, Texas, the stories of UFC 271's headliners highlight the great nations they represent. From the Australian outback to the islands of New Zealand, these destinations are hailed as some of the most beautiful places on the planet.
We are in Dunedin, South Island of New Zealand. I don't visit the South Island as often as I'd like to. It's a chill pace compared to the hustle and bustle of Auckland, and then the scenery as well. After this fight, I'm definitely gonna explore the South Island a little bit more.
On this day, the harbor city of Dunedin plays host to up-and-coming Kiwis, and the national hero always takes time to support the next generation.
Dear Lord, thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity for the team to show off their talent tonight, Lord. We just ask that you protect all the fighters and protect all the boys tonight. We ask that you give them strength. We ask that you give the corner wisdom. Everything that we do tonight is in your name, Lord. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Cool. Yeah, baby.
We're off. You need events like this to cultivate the youth. It's important to show up for them as well, because this is their biggest fight of their life.
Nice, Jason. Do that again.
I just want to show those guys that they matter.
You adapted in that third round and you showed heart. Nah, good. Be proud. Be proud. Amen. Go say thanks to the corner.
It means a lot when guys like myself take time out to go support them and help them out.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, bring it out. Bring it out. That was beautiful. Like to come on. Let's go. Oh, let's go.
They're always here to help us get ready for world title fights. So same thing, when we come here, we help them for their fights.
Do what you do. That's it. Good counter. Feints, more feints. Bring it back. Oh! My God.
Not much to tell you, brother. Thank you. That was a much better round on your feet.
Focus, focus. Be sharp. Oh! That's it, Adam. He's been waiting for this. Let's go, Adam.
What an awesome night for our team. We came in and we conquered.
You are amazing. You are amazing. I love you. You're a man.
I'm even getting chills thinking about it. I'm inspired.
That was beautiful. That right there, masterclass. Masterclass. Let's go. We're the best. That's it. That's it. Say less.
The pride of a nation runs just as deep in New Zealand as it does across the ditch, where Adesanya's next opponent is also supporting local athletes.
Let's go, light. Family light, 30 seconds light. We're gonna do 5 minutes of it.
For Robert Whittaker, that means welcoming the National Rugby League's Penrith Panthers to his home gym,
30 seconds, we're gonna fight. Hard for double unders, put it down.
where the NRL's premiership winners continue a wrestling regimen that has bolstered their performances on the turf.
The Penrith Panthers in good attacking position here.
Impact of wrestling in NRL is massive.
Now for Luai, back, Burton's into a hole, and he's into the in-goal area for a try.
It affects slowing the play of the ball down, completing tackles.
The challenges are there, thick and fast. The Panthers celebrate the premiers of 21.
Every team has a wrestling coach. Ours is just the best.
We're always looking to improve, just kind of exposing our team and our guys to something a little bit different and fresh. You get some strength out of it, some conditioning, which is very relevant to our sport.
To be involved with such an elite level team of like-minded individuals makes a big difference in the gym.
The Panthers train alongside the Reaper as he prepares to represent Australia in the February 12th rematch with New Zealand's Israel Adesanya.
Now that it's almost time to fight, we could put this whole Australia versus New Zealand thing to bed.
It was never a country versus country. It was me versus Izzy.
But the storied rivalry between nations won't distract Whittaker from the task at hand.
The Australian-New Zealand rivalry, that was one of the things that got in my head the first fight, honestly. They made such a big thing out of it.
And we've got two guys from this side of the world. The rivalry between Aussies and Kiwis, it's not going to end here. I'll guarantee you that.
You live in Australia and you got Kiwi heritage.
Yeah.
He gets to New Zealand, he's got Nigerian heritage. How's all that kind of fit into everything? 56,000 plus will pack the house Sunday at UFC 243.
Robert, he does not want to let everyone down. He's in his home country. He doesn't want to let everyone down.
Nice. Now I don't care. Personally, I just want to try and get that back.
Beautiful.
All I know is that I'm very confident going into this next fight that I'm going in there as the best me.
Right hand.
Going in there with my head the way I need it to be, that I want it to be. I'm going in there with my skill set and my confidence in my skill set. I'm going to give my best go at this, and that will satisfy me.
And again. Good trainer, Rob. Nice work.
Former champion Robert Whittaker is 12-1 in his last 13 fights. But that sole blemish in the 2019 title bout with Israel Adesanya is one he now has the opportunity to get back. In preparing for the February 12th rematch, Whittaker is focusing on the sweet science with a legend of the craft. Six-time world champion coach and boxing Hall of Famer, Johnny Lewis.
And we could have a real cracker. Long-time trainer Johnny Lewis there with him. He's worked all his life for this moment. And there's the left uppercut, which was a peach. Combinations, and there's the left hand. It's over! The fight finishes dramatically.
Well, let's go. That's underneath.
Johnny Lewis knows what he's doing. You know, he's got a good head for the sport, and he's got a big personality and presence in the gym.
Go in with it, and then hook short.
Nice.
When he's watching you or when he's edging you on to work harder, work faster, you want to do that for him.
Right, left, right. Then go the left first, and then do the left rib.
Follow up with the right.
In with the rib and shorten it up. Nice and twist.
He just has that veteran mind, that experience behind the wheel that you just absolutely believe in.
Boxing may be where Adesanya bested Whittaker.
Oh, but he caught him there.
But Whittaker's 3 consecutive wins that followed
Defensive movement from Whittaker and a big right hand.
showcased the Reaper's newly refined striking skills.
1, 2, 3. Look at that. I mean, come on.
All Whittaker's weapons complement the next strike that he's going to throw.
Rob is punching extremely hard, and he's not missing the target.
There's a lot of power in these punches. It is an absolute weapon.
If he gets 2 of them in a row, we'll be all going home early.
Here he is, rejuvenated, revitalised, and on a quest to get his title back.
There he is. Oh, man.
Trying to be like a better version of myself.
This Whittaker performance might be resonating with the middleweight champion Israel Adesanya.
And then drop the right on him.
I mean, he's gotten better, right?
And I feel like I've ticked a lot of those boxes.
This Robert Whittaker looks so much better than the guy that fought Izzy for the title.
I mean, Robert is just one step ahead in every single transition.
But this next fight will be the biggest box to tick.
That was truly a masterpiece, and I can't wait for the rematch with Adesanya.
Nice time.
Team Adesanya is acutely aware that Whittaker's approach to the rematch will be vastly different from the first contest. But drastic alterations to a training camp can have adverse effects.
It's always very interesting to see what the other opponent's going to do to change the outcome. When you lose in the fashion that Robert lost.
A lot of big actions by Robert Whittaker, throwing big old looping punches.
From a coaching perspective, there's so much scope for change. Anytime you get a great trainer like Johnny Lewis, it's going to add to your game. But I will say this. There is 100% a danger when fighters start to get too much input from too many different places.
Adesanya prepares as usual, knowing that even if Whittaker's training camp is crowded,
jab 3-2.
The former champ's mental fortitude cannot be questioned.
The way he's approached the fight lets me know he's taking the first step in accepting that I was better than him that night.
It's that right hook counter. Every time Robert jumps in there, that right hook counter is landing beautifully.
He's gonna come in with a different game plan, different strategies.
1-2 minus.
And I'm preparing him better than I did the first time.
And that speaks to the evolution of the all-around game of Adesanya.
It's Australia versus New Zealand once again on February 12th. As Whittaker...
He's made adjustments to get the title and face Adesanya next. I'm excited.
And Adesanya.
One of the most dynamic, layered strikers, and of course a game that has continued to round itself into form.
Run it back in the prime of their careers for undisputed middleweight glory.
Me and him are not the same. We're not on the same level. I've knocked him out twice in one fight.
The way he understands timing and distance is unparalleled.
So I'm going to finish him again.
He makes it look easy no matter what he is doing.
He's the most sophisticated striker in the sport.
But this Robert Whittaker looks so much better than the guy that fought Izzy for the title.
This is going to be a hard fight.
Oh my goodness.
He's the champ for a reason.
He does things that other people just don't do inside the octagon.
You never know where he's going.
But I think I have the skill set to beat him.
Look at that. I mean, come on.
These in and out actions, these angles, this is what made Robert Whittaker so special.
I'm stacking every chip in my favor.
I mean, he's gotten better. He went away and he actually got better.
We'll see whose night it is when we get there.
This is the fight to make. Let them have this great battle that they had once before.
UFC 271's co-main event will be a heavyweight showcase between proven knockout artists. For Tai Tuivasa, 12 of his 13 career wins have come by KO. And the proud Australian has taken training camp to the UAE.
All right, let's go, guys. Get the jog going.
Coming over here, it's been awesome.
Back to normal.
I've done 4 camps here now.
Pick it up a little bit. Look, go right the way around. Let's go right shoulder.
Mainly was because of COVID in Australia.
And again, let's go. Get them up. 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, shadow. Let's go, please. Start your shadow.
I just thought, you know, I need to get out of here to make sure that I can keep fighting and keep feeding my family.
Time. All right, 2 minutes. Do your stretches, please. Make sure you stretch.
Of the Aussie transplants that make up Tuivasa's camp, childhood friend and head coach Sean Sullivan knows Bam Bam the best.
We're all in this together.
And has guided his career since Tuivasa was an MMA newcomer.
Any questions? Okay, nice and warm. Let's go.
I used to train to basically lose weight. And then when the fight came, that was like his fun part.
Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what I want to see.
You know, you see as he walks out, he really enjoys it. He embraces the opportunity to perform under those bright lights.
Here is the undefeated Ty Tuivasa.
After just 6 professional wins, Tuivasa found himself competing in the UFC.
Oh, the big knee! That's it! Tuivasa! Western Sydney, baby! He has arrived in the UFC's heavyweight division.
Now I'm here, and I'm here to stay.
Don't let that jiggle fool you. He's an explosive, strong guy.
Bam, bam!
Tuivasa all over him.
Oh, lead elbow. Are you kidding me?
Destruction.
I just want to fight, keep getting paid, baby.
Hates to train, loves to eat, but make no mistake about it. He is a big game player.
Tuivasa with an elbow over the top. Velasquez in trouble.
Bam, bam!
Can you do the honors and lend me a shoe?
I'm not lending you my shoe. You're gonna have to do that with somebody else, bro. He drinks beer out of shoes, folks.
But with his personality front and center, Tuivasa learned, like most, that the biggest stage in martial arts requires a different level of dedication.
While you're getting warmed up, I'll tell you what you're doing today. Your strength stuff you're going to do will do the Zercher squats and the banded landmine press. And you've got the sledge push at the end. Sean didn't tell me to tell you that, but you got it today, so that's at the end.
Initially, even when he first started in the UFC, I think Ty was just naturally a fighter.
Drive it forward. Good.
He used to love the fight aspect of the sport, but the training aspect he didn't really enjoy at all.
Snap the hips a little bit more, yeah? Good, rest it.
When you lose, you learn, and you start to have a real good hard look at yourself. And you know, he realised that he needed to change a few things.
Last one. Up. Get in nice and tight.
Now he's really like buying into the training side of things, and he's looking to try and upskill himself in all areas of the game.
Yeah, I'm godly. I'ma die for the grind, ayy.
He's now starting to embrace the martial arts side of MMA.
I can't lie, man, it's time.
His fight IQ is getting, you know, extremely bright. I think that's showing in his performances.
They be waiting for the sign till they found me.
After a string of defeats, Tuivasa would find the balance of fun and professionalism.
Oh, big shots landed for Tuivasa.
So the knockouts continued.
Ty Tuivasa at the gun! Bam Bam is back in a big way.
And I'ma die
Knocked him out. Tuivasa wobbles and sends him down. It's over. First round knockout. Find him a shoe.
Get him a shoe.
Who has more fun than Ty Tuivasa? Nobody.
Waiting for the sign till they found me.
Oh! He goes down!
I'm godly.
Ty Tuivasa has knocked out Greg Hardy!
Tuivasa's out of his mind.
He is such an animal.
Hey, he want to bang with me. I'm not the right guy to bang with. Pick another bloke.
This man took losing those fights and applied it to his training.
Tuivasa's all over him. Oh, Sakai's big trouble. That's it.
Clean KO for Ty Tuivasa!
But in order to extend his 4-fight knockout streak to 5,
They want the shoeing.
Tuivasa will need to take down the KO King at UFC 271.
Knockout power unlike any other heavyweight in the UFC.
When he connects, he puts you out.
Oh, big shots by Derek. That's it. And the guy has hammers.
Highlight reel knockouts are abundant at heavyweight.
Derek Lewis, yet another finish.
He's done it time and time again.
But Houston's Derek Lewis tallied enough to tie the record for most KOs in any division.
There it is! I get it! Ball calls out! The Black Beast!
He is alone at the top of the mountain. Most UFC knockouts for a heavyweight. Walloping right. Lewis does it again. Wow. Do you believe it?
And he had the chance to break that record in his most recent outing.
Derek Lewis can own the UFC knockout record if he gets it done by that method against Chris Daukaus.
The fight played out exactly like my coach wanted.
That's it. Keep control of the cage. There it is, baby.
We wanted to push him against the cage and just blast on him.
Oh, and a left combination. Lewis is punching big now.
Yeah, exactly what we did.
Oh, and Lewis puts him out. There is your knockout king. The most knockouts in UFC history belongs to Derek Lewis and Derek Lewis alone.
It's cool to have the most knockouts in UFC history. All these greats that came here before me, and they didn't achieve what I did.
Although he owns the record for most knockouts, Lewis is yet to own a UFC world title.
Thanks, man. Tear it up out there. I know you will.
And had his second shot at a heavyweight belt against former title challenger Cyril Gane not taken place in his hometown, Lewis may very well be the champion today.
How perfect is this situation, right? I mean, you get a chance to fight for the title. It's in Houston. I mean, could you have drawn it up any more perfect than this?
It don't feel real that I'm fighting for the belt here in my hometown.
At this point in your career, does it mean more? I mean, is this a special moment to have a belt?
I don't know. Still really not even thinking about that. My mind is still not really on the title.
When we took the fight, we were so excited, you know, fighting for the interim title here at home. You know, we're gonna do this. And as time progressed, especially going into fight week, I definitely saw a side of Derek that I honestly hadn't seen before.
I don't want to fight in my hometown, especially a main event again in my hometown. I thought it would be cool, but nah, it's a lot of pressure.
How's the week been treating you, Derek?
The week has been crazy. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, man. It makes me nervous just thinking about it.
He said with all this, the pomp and circumstances, the ovation of the crowd, there comes an added pressure, and he had been feeling it all week.
I was battling my mind more than I was battling Gane.
It only takes one for Derek Lewis to blow the roof off this place.
There's something he's seeing from Gane that's throwing him off.
The nerves and everything that fight meant.
Cyril Gane on the cusp of a world title, and that is it! Derek Lewis just unable to get things going tonight.
It just took a toll on me.
I think Derek being able to fight so quickly again here back home is just a great opportunity. He's gonna really want to give the fans a better showing, a better outing, and hopefully get the W here against Ty.
After bouncing back with a vintage knockout win, Lewis has this chance to redeem himself on home soil in the UFC 271 co-main event against Tai Tuivasa.
Coming into this fight, I feel like I owe Houston a lot, and I feel like it's my redemption fight for them. Two of us, you go out there and just like to swing, and that's what I like to do too. It's gonna be a fun fight, and I believe I can get the job done for the fans.
Back in the UAE, Tuivasa continues training camp half a world away from his loved ones in Australia.
One Baba Ganoush, this one brother, yeah?
And while destinations with less restrictions are necessary for adequate preparation, the time away from family is never easy.
I'm an island boy.
You know, I've gone through a lot of times in my life, and the gets, the more better I try to get out of it and make it work. So I've got a good group of people around me. Always learning and trying to get better.
You coming to eat, question mark?
Luckily for Tuivasa, he's able to bring some family with him, such as brother-in-law and UFC light heavyweight Tyson Pedro.
He's one of the few people that, even since we were a kid, is just able to find his target. Like, a lot of people can punch as hard as Ty, but he's just able to find the chin and put people to sleep.
All right, guys, let's go.
First technique, guys. Someone goes to shoot on you. You either do one of these or one of these.
He's really ramped it up now. He's looking very good. His wrestle's very strong.
Jumping over. Wide base. There you go.
I had my first fight. I never did any martial arts, so getting used to the wrestling and the ground game, trying to better myself.
He always loves having me over because of my jiu-jitsu background, so that helps him out a lot as well. Not that I think it'll matter in the Derek Lewis fight.
Everybody knows, oh no. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, oh no, no. Everybody knows. You can feel it in the air, it's coming. You can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in the air, yeah, it's coming. Everybody knows.
Preparing in all areas for a fight that may only involve striking is a testament to Tuivasa's dedication.
Hits you like a, hits you like a.
And an opponent like Derek Lewis will bring out the best Bam Bams to date.
I've got a lot of respect for Derek. I've grown up watching him.
He's as dangerous as a heavyweight gets. This man can knock out anybody on the planet.
The Black Beast does it again. He is alone at the top of the mountain.
I just think it's the passing of the torch now. Hand it over to me.
The Australian Tai Tuivasa, one of the hardest hitters in the game, one of the biggest personalities in the game.
He knows when he steps foot on that octagon, he's trying to do one thing, is just beat the living crap out of his opponent.
It's going to be two guys in there trying to take the head off one another.
When he lets those hands go, he has a very high likelihood of knocking you up.
And so it's going to be a fun fight to watch.
That's it.
That's it. There is your knockout king.
I'm Bam Bam. I always come out to knock someone out, you know, so. A knockout of Chewy's. Chewy's coming to Houston, baby.
Heavyweights collide in Houston, Texas on February 12th.
That's it.
Before former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker
That jab is like a piston, and then he throws the straight right hand.
represents Australia in a rematch with the reigning king from New Zealand, Israel Adesanya.
I'm the champion. Let's go.
It's another high-stakes showcase for the worldwide MMA leader at UFC 271.